All right, all right. Welcome back to Corbellic Studios. You're here back with Corbellic. We're here to do another live stream. You're here with the best live stream that we're going to be having, the best painting live stream on YouTube, the best business coach, the best philosophy out there. So we're back on another month. No, this isn't Monday. This is Tuesday. All the days they kind of fit the same, but we're back. We're going to be doing some more paintings. We're going to be having a good time, making sure that my lighting is good right here. Okay, my lighting is good. We got the paint. I think I'm going to have to add a little bit more paint onto my palette right now, but you can see we got the palette live camera going on right there. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope you had a productive weekend. Hope that you had some time to relax as well too. Like I always say, for me personally, in order for me to relax, in order for me to feel good, in order for me to not feel anxious, because I'm always feeling anxious, like I need to do something. People are like, man, Corbellic, you're always working. You're always taking care of this. You're always taking care of that. Or you're always like, it always seems like you're doing 1,000 things. Like even when I'm not live streaming or even when I'm not painting, I'm telling you, I still put in like 10 to 12 hours of work every single day. I'm always working. At times, I can't even sleep at night because I'm always thinking of business ideas. I'm thinking of business plans. But in order for you to get time where you can relax, fully relax, because I know a lot of you, you're similar to me, where you have this problem with your brain, you have so many things going on. In order for you to get that real true moment of clarity to relax, you have to work hard on the days that you are able to work. All right. Like I understand every single day you might not have it 100% schedule. All right. Like I get it. Like we're human, but the days that you do have where you can have 100% schedule, show up on those days. Make sure that you get a good night's rest. Make sure that you go to sleep on time. It's not really so much about what time that you wake up in the morning. I don't set an alarm clock for the morning. I set an alarm clock for the time that I go to sleep because that's important. And even though my mind is like firing off and I'm thinking of so many different things, and sometimes it's hard for me to go to sleep, as long as I make sure that I have a bedtime and I have my alarm set for like 9 p.m. or so for me to get to bed, by the time I'm tossing and turning or whatever in my mind, then I'll be able to go to sleep and then I'll get enough sleep where I can wake up. I always wake up on time without the alarm clock. I go to the gym, I work out, and then I get to the studio and I'm able to work. All right. So these are just business advice things going on. Segue into it. Today's lesson, we're going to be talking about business advice. All right. We're going to be talking about business 101, not just about eBay, but life in general. Maybe even family, maybe even friends, maybe even how to have a higher frequency upon yourself. You know, just different advice on how to go with things. One of the biggest things that we're going to be talking about today, really, when it comes to business, is leverage. All right, leverage is everything. Even like I said, even if it's not business, it could just be about relationships in general. How to make a new relationship with a friend, how to make a new relationship with somebody who you want to do business with. All right. Make sure that you put yourself in a situation where you have leverage. If you don't have leverage, you don't have anything. Even if you're in a relationship, it could be your husband, it could be your wife, it could be your girlfriend, it could be your sister, it could be your brother, it could be your mom. You got to put yourself in a situation where you have leverage. If not, then you're not useful. All right. I mean, look, let's stop playing games. We're not children where people have to take care of us and babysit us. We're adults. And once you become an adult, I'm sorry, but you're your own identity. You're your own person. And when you're your own person, and everybody has their own motives, everybody has their own agenda, everybody has their own time slot, you had to put yourself in a situation where you have leverage. That means that you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be the most respected. You're going to put yourself in the highest echelon. You're going to put yourself in the highest esteem. If you don't have leverage, you don't have nothing. And then if you don't have nothing, the world could talk to you crazy. All right. And we don't want the world to talk to you crazy. That's not a situation that we come from. And I mean, hey, that's even where I break down and I talk about when we're doing commissions. Don't put yourself in a situation where the world could talk to you crazy. You have the power. Put yourself in the power by making sure that you show up to work. All right. So that's what we're going to, that was a short rant right there, but that was a cool Tuesday morning intro. That's what we're going to be talking about. Just stuff like that. And let's see who we got here today. Let's see. All right. I think we got some of the crew here so far. Not everybody, but we got some of the crew here. We got the Sweet Life. We got Jaded Hunter. We got Torres. We got Brenda. We got Discerning Light. Let's see here. Brenda says productive for sure. We got Pretty. Pretty Doc in here. Pretty Doc AJ. Hey, how you doing? We got Jim. All right, we got Laris out loud. Cool. All right. I kind of started slow this morning with my setup a little bit. I'm trying to think of an excuse that I can make an excuse on. I don't have an excuse that I got for you of why I didn't do my palette. I'm trying to think, what was it? What was the reason? I don't know. Whatever. But I did everything else as my setup. I'm like a surgeon around here, all right? I have a checklist. Even at nighttime, like when I close my eyes, the thing that I think of before I go into that dream world is I think about my checklist. I think about what can I add to it tomorrow? What can I improve on it? What do I need to improve on it? I have a checklist. I have to have a checklist. Jim, the other day, he was saying in the elite community, he was like, man, I got all these things going on and I need to put like a calendar or a board or something where it shows what's next. And I'm telling you, these are the things that I talk about inside the community. These are the things that I say. And I know I say them so many times where it kind of feels like it's redundant, or maybe it goes in one ear and out the other because I say so many of these key principles a lot. But these are the key principles of how I run my operation and how I was able to run my life and how I was able to do my business. So they're so important. That's why I talk about a paper calendar, or at least have like a board next to you. I always buy a board. So I always buy where I have the whiteboard. I got several whiteboards. I got one on the wall. I got the rollout one. I have different whiteboards so that way I can have a checklist of what my day is. Cause I got so many different things that I got going on. And I know if I don't look at the checklist, then I'll miss one of them. So that's just like one of the things of like even starting this morning off. There's so many different checklists that I have to do even to make sure that this live stream is producing on time and producing with so much clarity, where I got like even the side camera, so many different cords. There's so many different things behind the scenes. All right. And then today I even have in the middle of the stream, my assistant is going to be coming in and she's going to be boxing up a whole bunch of canvases that I got that's shipping out, that went out for auction. So she's going to be doing that while we're painting. And that's just how we roll. Look, I mean, you're going to get to that point too, where you're the money maker. So once you're the money maker, and this is going to be another business lesson. I'll talk more about that, but I'll just finish my thought. Once you're the money maker, because you are the money maker, make sure that you put yourself in a situation of leverage where you don't do things that are beneath your pay grade. Stop doing things that are beneath your pay grade. All right. All right. We got Lee up in here. We got Tulio up in here. All right. We got Nancy. We got Alyssa. All right. It looks like we got the crew up in here so far. All right, everybody, leave a like up in here if you haven't already. Also, it really helps to leave me some super chats. I think last week didn't leave a super chat up in here. We'll have to see how it looks on the end of the stream. Depending on how that looks, might not be a live stream tomorrow. Might be something else. Might be some reaction videos. I don't know. We'll see. But I got to fill up this a little bit. Let's add some paint onto this. Now, look, I'm gonna show you what I talk about. So when it comes to the red, right, I'll do like the Liquidex red over here. But then what I like to do is I like to take the Blix red and I put it to the side of it because it's darker red, right? So it's darker. And anytime I can mix it if I want to, or I could use one or the other. I play them against both of them. So what else do I need? Let's put some the turquoise. I don't know what I was thinking. That's what I forgot to buy. I forgot to buy green from the store. But it's crazy. I make my own green at times. If I don't have green, I'll just make my own green. I'll just mix it. But I'm not going to mix it right now. Let's see, what else do I need to put down here? Let's put down some light blue. And then I think we're ready to rock and roll. I don't really need all this much I don't need this much for the live stream. I think we're ready to rock and roll. All right, that's about it. I'm not gonna bore you with this stuff, with me loading up the palette. But let's ice it down a little bit with a little bit of water. Boom. That way we just make it a little bit flexible, ready to go. All right, let's see here. Jim says it's just like the romper room where he calls out our names. Laugh out loud. All right. I don't know that one. Maybe that one's past my age. The romper room. I don't know that one. Womp womp womp. All right, let's do this. So the first painting that I'm going to do is an elephant. Because why not? Huh. Let me see here. Where's the making sure this is plugged in? Okay. I just had to make sure that my projector's plugged in. I think we're ready to go. There we go. All right, already. I appreciate you, Sweet Life. Thank you. Thank you for that super chat. That really means a lot. That goes a long way. Lets me know that I'm not painting for nothing, and I'm not giving out these gems and games for free. I'm giving these things out for free. A lot of this stuff that we talk about, I'm talking about stuff that usually goes into the elite, or should go into the elite, the deeper mindset stuff, business stuff. I'm really excited about the topic that we have today, especially when it comes to business and putting yourself in a situation of leverage. And it's not, it's funny. I love eBay, right? And I love doing art or doing whatever I do, right? And you also know I love business, right? But you also know I love life, right? So I love talking about all these different things, but I really love where I could talk more about life in general and how these things work for you in your life. Because one thing plays into another. It's just not about art. It's just not about eBay. It's just not about relationships. It's also about your life. Because whatever these things, I like the things of what I talk about where it can coach you into your mindset for other success into your life. It's just not about eBay. That's so simple. I would hate to just be in that lane. That's why I have where I do financial coaching, and then I also do coaching a mindset. I don't want to just be where I know that's our thing, right? But when I talk to you, it's so important when I talk to you where we understand the mindset, because the mindset is everything. Without the mindset and the foundation of that, you're not going to have the success when it comes to eBay. So these are going to be things that we're going to be talking about today. It's going to be really cool. It's a kid show from It's a kid show from a million years ago. The Romper Room. Lee says you are too young for Romper Room. It's a classic. All right, now I gotta look it up, and then I gotta make videos. I'm gonna make a video of the Romper Room now. Now I gotta take a clip of it, and then now we're the Romper Room Club. All right, now. All right, let's see here. Discerning Light says Romper Room was a kid show back in the late 60s and early 70s. Yeah, that's beyond me. I'm an early 80s baby. All right, let's see here. The Sweet Life, my pleasure. I appreciate you. Again, thank you. That really means a lot. Mary says, I love the videos on Simon Bull. Thank you. I love that. I love that. That's another thing. I really love the reaction of people who appreciate the Simon Bull video and like that type of form of video, because those are the things that I want to do more. I want to do more reaction videos, and I want to do more videos where I'm showing things, or maybe things that I was inspired off of, or just different ideas, and we can have more of a conversation that way. I mean, what do you even think of the idea of we could do some live streams like that, and we'll have some live streams of looking at different things and going over different topics. I think I want to do that too. But I mean, I don't even know why I'm asking you. Even if you like it or you don't like the idea, I'll do it anyways. You know me, I'm Corbellic. I'll do what I want. All right, let's see here. Sweet Life says, I want to thank you for the post about Simon Bull. It felt like a class field trip. if it was fun. That was fun. So that's why I said I want to do more of those. I got a bunch of great ideas, and and what I do is like over the years I save clips and I saved videos. So it's like I'm about to put them to good use where we can just get together, talk about it, my mindset on it, and how they inspire me and things like that. So that was really cool. I'm really glad that that video blew up. All right. All right. All right. I think we're ready to go. Remember, leave a like if you haven't. They like me. They really, really like me. I told you they like me. All right. I'm just fixing the I was just fixing the camera right there. All right. Where's my light at? Oh, my light is on the desk. Let me grab it real quick. So I could dim the lights. Here it is. Boom. Bam. All right, we got Esther here. Hey Esther. So that was a quick joke, but that was also a lesson too as well. The joke of it was like, hey, you guys, what do you think of this idea if we do this or if I do that? The joke of it is like, I'm gonna do what I want, and you need to be on that mindset too, because whatever your frequency is your frequency. Even if it's right or wrong, it's always gonna be right because at least that you're trying, at least that you're doing it. Don't wait for permission. The more that you're waiting for permission from somebody or you're trying to figure out what's what, the more that you're just gonna let time go by and you're not just gonna do the action. The action is everything. What works for you is not gonna work for me. And that's just how life is in general. It's like I as Corbellic with the coaching, I could show you the algorithm and I could show you the mindset and I can show you a lot of the mistakes over the years and different things like that. But frequency is something that I can't do, and I won't fake it out of pride where something that might not have worked for me art wise or something else, I won't be like, you better not do it or you'll be wrong, or because then you'll make $1 million out of it and I couldn't make a penny out of it, right? We know situations that's like that, and you just got to stay in your frequency. That's why they call it beginner's luck. So that's going to be another lesson. What we're talking about right now too is like, beginner's luck is not beginner's luck. Beginner's luck is that he just didn't go to art school. He didn't have all these people telling him the rules. So he's breaking the rules without knowing he's breaking the rules because he has beginner's luck and he doesn't have the limitations of what people are telling him the limitations are. His frequency is just going out there and be like, oh, I didn't know this was the deep end. Y'all are all telling me this is the deep end now. I didn't even know. I'm just doing it. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, let's do this. So this is going to be an elephant right here. I love doing elephants. People love elephants as well. And with this one, this is going to be a neo-expressionism elephant. So, I mean, there's no right or wrong. There's just a bunch of colors and a bunch of stuff. Let me see if I can sharpen it up a little bit. If not, then that's fine. But I think it was already sharp enough. Let's see the image, I mean, like clear. So I hope you're listening to me on that one, not just hearing me. Even to yourself, even to yourself. You'll have an identity inside of you where it's like asking for permission. Sometimes you really got to jump off that diving board. Because if not, the longer that you stay on the diving board, on the edge of it, the longer you stand there, you're not going to want to jump. I know that feeling. We all know that feeling when we were kids, right? Like, it's always the person who just gets up there, the kid he's crazy enough, he's just taking the action. He didn't take any time. He gets up there and he just jumps. He just runs off of there. That's the one who actually does it. But the more that I stand up there and I'm asking myself permission, I'm asking if that's the right thing, if this is the right thing, then I won't do it. But by the time that you do the action, boom. Pretty Doc, AJ, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for leaving me a super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Pam says jumping on between meetings. That's cool. All right, let's get this background going. I want to make sure that I got my phone nearby because when my assistant comes. Let's see here. All right, let's do this. Shiku says, I got my girl to paint with a projector last night. I saw her childhood self come out and not doubt herself. That's so awesome. That's what it's all about right there. That's a great story. Thanks for sharing that. That's what it's about. And that's the thing too. It's like that's the thing what he's saying. That's so true. That's how I say it on here is that we are all creators and we're all children. You know what? You know a quote that I love? I love this quote. I forget who I heard it from, but they said that children are the closest thing to God because just think about it. They recently just left God. So that's why their mind is more open than us as an adult. When we become adults, right? Or when we're more into this world, our limitations is based on the limitations of what this world is because we've been here longer on this realm. But kids, they're closer to God because they just left God. Right? I mean, even though God is inside of us because we're all creators, but they just left the creator. And so their mind is at a different realm. Their mind isn't at the limitations of what this world is yet. So when we're kids, we're all free to be creators. And what I say is that the art is already inside of us. We just use the projector as a tool to get there. Now, if we wanted to, we could all spend the time 30 hours doing the polar bear hairs and we could figure it out, right? Like we could eventually figure it out how to get there without the projector. We could. It would just take us a little bit of time. And then we wouldn't have the confidence and we would be doubting ourselves just like standing on the end of the diving board. Like we would have to play, we would eventually get there, but the mental gymnastics that we would have to play by the time that we get there would just be exhausting. It would be exhausting. Jaded Hunter, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, you guys. That really means a lot to me. Over here doing God's work out here. Coming out empty-handed some of these videos. I'm like, I'm about to do other videos. But that's really cool. And she's going to get better at doing it too. Jada Hunter says, we appreciate you too and all the time you put in. I appreciate that. Because I'm telling you, I'm always working. But I enjoy it and I'm thankful to God for the opportunity. All right. Look at, oh man, I love that background. You kidding me? I love the background. So now let's get into the elephant. I gotta dry this off a little bit because it's too wet right now. Oh, that's the thing. Oh, here's my heat gun. I gotta plug it in. I had unplugged it this weekend. I was moving some stuff around. And that's another thing that I see what's going on. Do you start with a wet brush for the background? Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Like, yeah, it's wet. Like, I even keep it. So, like, here, look, let me show you this camera view. I keep it in this. I keep water in this, and I keep the big brushes in this. So that way, I just take it out. I take the brush out, and it's already wet. And then I'll take a little bit of the water off, so it's just not dripping completely into the palette, but it's wet right now, right? And then I'll go into the paint, and you can see it's wet. And then I'll go into the canvas. Or sometimes if it's a big canvas, I'll wet the canvas out. So this is the thing that's going on. And I'm noticing it before I go into the topic. I'm noticing it within your studio and within your organization and within how you're organizing yourself. We got to have a talk. Okay. And this is something that I had a video on. This is a lesson that I had that's inside the elite community, but we got to have a talk. Your studio is a mess. Your studio is a mess. You're unorganized. You got stuff everywhere. You probably don't even have the SKU numbers up. You got artwork that's just not categorized. You got paint that's laying around. You got papers that's laying around. I talk about these things. It's feng shui. You got to have a feng shui. If you don't have a feng shui, it's going to eat in your mind. Look, how do you feel when you go to the car wash? They clean out your car. They give it the nice wax on, wax off. The tires are shiny. You got the interior looking good, smelling good. You ask them what fragrance or the fragrance that they actually, you said jasmine, put the jasmine in there or the lavender, right? How do you feel? You feel good. You feel good about yourself. You feel like you're ready to work. You feel like you're ready to drive around the city. You ain't got nowhere to go, but you're ready to drive around the city. Your studio is the same. You need to have feng shui. There's a lesson in there that I say, and I think it's under the budget and workshop organizing. You need to make sure that when you leave the studio, it doesn't have to be super duper clean every single night that you leave, but make sure that you have a checklist that you write in there before you leave that you need to have things put away little by little. Every single day that you take care of small tasks, it doesn't build up into the big task. Once they build up into the big task, you're not going to want to do it because the problems become so big. And then it's like, oh, I got to do this one thing. But if you make it a daily habit and you have these checklists of things that you do to organize your studio, to clean up, to put things away, make sure your brushes are clean the night before, all right? Make sure that you have your paint set up. Make sure that you have certain things set up in your studio and you're going to feel good about yourself. I love when I clean up my studio. I'll take the weekend on a certain day of the weekend, maybe half the day, and then I'll come in, I'll sweep the floors. I'll organize the shelves. I'll put everything away. I'll do organizing on the desk area, you know, where things could just get crowded and it's feng shui. I feel better. I feel like I want to work. I want to paint. I want to be productive. Okay. These are the problems that eat up into your mind. You might not think it's a big deal, but it is a big deal. And they bleed over into other areas of your life. They bleed into other things of your relationship, of how you feel about yourself, of how confident that you are about your art, of who you are. All right, let's see here. Joe Gator said, this is the first time I'm seeing a live stream of yours. Very cool. Is there a schedule for these? I definitely tune in. Thanks. These tips go a long way. Joe Gator, yeah, usually Monday through Thursday Pacific time. But I don't know how things are flowing lately, you know? When I look at my analytics, you guys, I'm looking at the likes. The likes don't be there. My super chats don't be there. And then I look at other videos that I do that take me less amount of time. And then I'm getting the numbers where it's actually pulling people into the community. So me as a business owner, right? Which one do you think I'm going to me? I'm only being transparent here. I have to bring the people in. A lot of these paintings that we do right now, these paintings are just for us. Because a lot of times I don't even list these paintings. I don't need to list them, you know. So it just really depends. It depends on the engagement. I'm being honest. Thank you, Discerning Light. Thank you, Discerning Light, for the super chat. I greatly appreciate you. That really means a lot. That means a lot in my heart. Hold on, I think I missed one up here. Hold on. Let me scroll up. How can I scroll up here? Hold on. I don't want to miss anything. I apologize. Okay, I got Jaded Hunter. Super chat. I appreciate you again. What you talk about, Willis? What you talk about, Willis? Jaded Hunter says, I don't have a studio, let alone a spare room. I paint in the dining room, lounge room, or bedroom where there is less traffic in the house. And then let's see here. It says my studio is my bedroom. I have to clean it nightly. Yep. And that's the thing. Look, when I started off doing this, I was starting off in a small studio apartment and I was painting on the kitchen table. I would line it up with a plastic lining or trash bags and I would paint on there. That's how I was doing my art. I was doing my art in the kitchen. All right. That's how I started off. And I was doing them all on the table from there. So I know it's even more important when you're in a situation like that, that you have to keep things clean. You have to, because that's also a part of your living, where you're at. And then it gets to a point where you don't want to feel like you're living in your studio and your studio is that, because then you have relationships and your partner loves you, but they don't want to, it eats away at them too, even though they're not even the artist. The feng shui is affecting them. All right, let's get into this art right now. Lost audio. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Lee says that she lost audio. Let me know if you can hear me. Lee says she lost audio. Let me know if we're still good. If we're still good, then I'm gonna keep painting. I need to know that first before we go into our daily topic. Huh? Maybe. Yes, what? Yes, that you hear me or you don't? Oh, I guess you do hear me if you're saying yes. Okay. All right. Everybody says they hear me, so maybe it's you, Lee. You might have to just reset your thing. Just reset it. Everybody says audio's fine. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Still good here. Awesome. Jim says good. I have a small, pretty doc says I have a small apartment. I paint in the living room. I have my studio one day. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Look, eBay afforded me so much in my life. Like eBay put me on to everything. I have 2 different studios. I have a studio in Los Angeles. I have a studio in Tampa, Florida. I'm able to go between different ones. I have artwork that's there. I have assistants that's there. I have assistants that's here. I have a studio that's here. I have different businesses. I have investments, all because of eBay. If you want to do that too, click the link. Oh, matter of fact, let me make sure that I have that in here. I don't think that I put that in here. Our linky link. Let's see here. Join the community. I'm just putting the link in here for people that are new. They can know where to find us. They can know how to do this for themselves, right? That's what it's all about. Boom. All right, I'm gonna pin this to the top. Boom, it's pinned. All right, we're ready to go. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. So it's pinned there. Lost audio. The voice, I hear you, but the voice is off. I lost audio on YouTube. Here, let me check. Let's see here. Check. Let me make sure the property is good on here. Let me see here. Hold on. Make sure that we're good. Audio. Let me know. Let me know if the audio gets good. Audio. Hold on, let me see here. Properties. Huh. Oh, here we are. Let's see here. Nope. I think we should be good. Let me know if we're good. Let me know if we're good. Let me check on. Audio is fine for me. I refresh and you're good now. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate you. Thank you. It says the audio is back up on YouTube. I appreciate that. That's how we keep this thing rocking and rolling. You don't want to have me over here. You know how I start ranting, right, about life and business. I do this whole rant thing where I'm dropping gems and then nobody hears me. I shut this whole thing off for a month. All right. I forget what we talked about. Oh, yeah. So if you're new here and you're not already part of the elite community, you want to learn how to do these things for yourself. So that way you can also get these studios. That way you can also have investments. That way you can also be a part of the generational wealth that is happening right now, that is happening this year. Then click the link, join us, and you can see how we are doing that. All right. Let's get this thing going. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. It's taking way too much time. Let's put the timer on now. Boom. So, one of the lessons I want to talk about in Business 101, what we just talked about is leverage. Leverage is everything. Sometimes I'm really bad when it comes to emails or something like that because I get so many of them. But if someone would send me an email, or just you in general, okay? And or even if you're on the opposing side of this story, where if you're going to want to do business with somebody, or if you want something from somebody, put yourself in a situation of leverage. Never be like, hey, I want to work with you, or I want to do business with you, but yet I see that you worked hard all these years and I have nothing to offer you. That's pretty arrogant. That's pretty arrogant. It's pretty ballsy if you ask me. It's pretty ballsy. Like, don't be in a situation where you have nothing to offer and you would contact one of you guys that's in the elite, right? Like that's just like somebody contacting you. Like you worked your behind off. You're a hustler. You worked your butt off, and you worked your butt off with the different cartels, with Michaels, right? With Hobby Lobby, with Walmart, with eBay. You're over there hustling the cartels. And if someone would try to come to you and be like, hey, you know what? I've noticed that you are a part of the elite community for a year. You work so hard, you know. I really appreciate your work. I want to work with you. that takes some courage to do something like that. You offer nothing. I put the hard work in, you offer nothing. Now, the opposite situation is even you. If you want hypothetically to work with somebody, put yourself in a situation where you have leverage. Don't waste people's time. Don't waste people's time with an idea or wanting to, I want to scratch your brain. Like I get requests like this all the time, and it'll be from people where they have nothing to offer. So one of the things that I've learned from one of my mentors years ago was that if you ever want to work with somebody, or if someone wants to work with you, Make sure that you are in a situation where you are either equal to or you're more. That way, there's leverage there and there's a reason. But never come to somebody on a business opportunity or any kind of opportunity and you don't have any leverage. Even when it comes to commissions, when it comes to artwork, you have the leverage already because you've created the artwork and they like what you do. But even still, that might not be good enough. You need to make it into a situation where it's undeniable that it's a pleasure for them to just receive one of your pieces of art because you have worked so hard. You're prolific. I told you it's going to get to a point in your career where people want to do business with you and they want to buy your artwork or they want to be in your life or have a relationship with you or be a partner with you just because you are prolific. And it doesn't even have to do about art or painting. You could be prolific in just you showing up. You have a great work ethic. Maybe you do a bunch of YouTube videos. Maybe you do a bunch of content. Maybe you're just active. You're somebody who you stay where you're working 10 to 12 hours. You're active. You're prolific. You have leverage. That's how you stay in power. Now, if you're somebody where you don't have any leverage and you haven't put the work in, then don't be in a situation where you're asking someone for a favor or if you want to work together or something like that when you don't have anything to offer. It's just because you're already going to put yourself in a sucker's position where you lose. But also it's a good filter for you as well if somebody wants to do business with you or if they want to be in your, it's just like, You've worked so hard for someone just to not someone who doesn't do the work. Now, if you've been here for a while or you're already part of the elite community, you already know me. You already know Corbellic. I don't work with what are those things with the things with two legs and two arms. That's right, humans. I don't work with humans, all right? Humans are shiesty. And I've done this. That's why I said I did this without Instagram and social media, without all of that stuff. Humans could be shiesty. I'm not going to do no business with humans. But if I did, it damn sure wouldn't be you, whoever. Like you, and then if it is, this is the thing. If someone wants to come to you in a situation where, or if you want to come to someone for an opportunity to work together, then make sure that that's your opening of what you have, of who you are. My opening is always, I'm Corbellic. I sold 17,000 paintings on eBay. I've done this. These are the proof. This is my leverage. This is my opening. If we don't know each other, right, even as a coach, I'm not going to wait for you to watch 10 of my videos, or I'm not going to send you an email and then you have to do more correspondence on a stranger and we have to do back and forth 10 times for you to figure out what I offered you. Because I might not offer you anything, right? You got to start with the leverage. That's if you want to work with somebody, or if somebody wants to work with you. Put yourself in a situation where, when buying art, if they want to buy art from you, it's undeniable that they can say no to you because of your worth ethic to produce, your worth ethic of who you are, of your worth ethic to, even if you're not creating art, of your mindset. But also not to waste time where someone's going to be like, if you was prospecting yourself, start with the value. Don't beat around the bush. People don't have time is money. So this is going to be a gem right here that you can start saying to yourself when it comes to business, is that it's getting to a point with you. You're grinding so hard. You're working so hard. You're working so hard in your business. You're working so hard in your art. You're working so hard in your relationships, your partnerships, where people pay you for your knowledge. They don't pay you for your time. Your time is your time. I hope that doesn't go past you, because that's a deep one right there. That's something I had to learn in business years ago. And that's a deep one. And you could write it down, because maybe it won't make sense to you now, but it'll make sense later on. Especially the more that you start progressing in your own business. People are paying you for your knowledge or skill set. They're not paying you for your time. You don't owe anyone your time. You owe yourself your time, but you don't owe anyone your time. What you do owe is your skill set and your knowledge. People pay you for your knowledge and your mind. But you don't owe the time. Dr. Trader says, can you paint a Bob Ross piece? I'm gonna give everybody a business lesson too. So normally how I would take care of that in the business world, if we weren't on here and somebody would say, hey, you know what? I love your art from your store. Are you able to paint this? Then I go, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What's the business thing that you should do? Because this is business, right? What's the business thing you should do? I want to hear in the comments how you would take care of this if this was the business world and someone comes out to you and they say, hey, can you paint this? I really like your art. Can you paint this on the next video, or can you paint that on the next auctions that you have, or the next thing? Let me hear in the comments how you take care of that. Let me hear your business thing, and then I'll tell you how to do it. I'm going to wait for y'all's comments before I continue. Dr. Trader said, of course. He says, of course I can. That would be your answer. Of course I can. I mean, obviously, of course we can, because we're artists. Like, even if we can't, we can, because we'll figure it out, and we work off the projector. Of course we can. That's not the question. Yep, something like that. Larissa out loud, something like that. Yep, something like that. Let's see what else we got. Anybody else? How would you go about that? Yes, I can in my style. That's true too. Yep, that's a good one. Both of y'all are right in what y'all said. On that one, I would say, of course I can. I would say either I could do it on the live stream. Do you have a super chat for that? Do you have a super chat for me to do a Bob Ross on the live stream? Then I'll do it. Or in the business world, that I would say, yeah, let me know your requested canvas size or your wall size, and I could easily do a custom one for you. That's what I do. Let me know your requested canvas size, or let me know your wall size, and I will do a custom one for you. Not for anyone else, not to just be putting it out there for free and then hopefully someone likes it or they don't like it or whatever. Just because I like Bob Ross doesn't mean that the world likes it and I could put it out there and then it's just going to be because you requested it. Like, we would be doing, like, do I look like a DJ where you're just requesting songs? You know, we're not no DJ where you could just request songs from us for free. No way. Out here, we get paid for what we do. We are Picassos out here. Picasso is not Picasso. We're Picasso. That's how we need to look at ourselves. Remember what we just said. We don't owe people our time, but we owe people our knowledge. That's what they pay for. People pay for our knowledge. They don't pay for our time. If you want that, then that'd be extra. Sure, I could do it. Yeah, you'd have a conversation before committing. But of course, it would have to be in your style because they like that anyways. But you're totally right. But you know what? This is what I say for you guys. Don't be so quick now to say that to a collector. Um, when you're because you're I feel like most people here are just starting out, especially if you're just starting out with eBay. Collect the paycheck. So don't be too much. Collect the paycheck. But me, where I'm at in my position, if somebody really wanted a commission, you're going to pay for it, but also you're going to know that I have artistic freedom. As long as I have artistic freedom to do it. So for example, in your situation where maybe you need the money and you really like you need that opportunity. Like me starting off, I wouldn't say that within my first 5 years to be like, um, yes, but I would be more open to the opportunity. I would be more open. But at the same time, um, you can, I mean, that's one of my stipulations is that I have to have artistic freedom. Because that way I know that at least that you're buying it because it's Corbellic in comparison that you want to buy it because of some style that you might want. It's just something you have to play around with, but that also gives you leverage as well. It just really depends on where you're at with your career and also your money. Because I mean, I'm not turning down no paychecks at the beginning. I'm not turning down no paychecks. But right now, right now, if somebody asks me for a commission, I really make it difficult for them. I make it difficult for them because I don't really want to do it. But I make it difficult where it's like, you have to pay me a certain amount where it's like triple the fold. And then I have to somewhat like you. And then I have total artistic freedom where we don't even know what it's going to be really. It's something that I want to paint or whatever. And then on top of that, there is no deadline date. I mean, I'll finish it quick because that's how I like to go about commissions. I'll finish it, but at the same time, it's like I don't want you to think of a deadline. If you think of a deadline for a Corbellic piece, then I already don't want to do it. Even though I work quick and I'll probably do it that day or the next day, you know. I just like the mindset of where I could be like, you know what? I'm just so happy to work with you, Corbellic, that take your time. Whenever you're done with it, whenever you want to deliver it, that's cool with me. If you give me that, then when I work on your painting the next day or whatever, it gives me such pleasure to do the painting for you. I know I have all these stipulations now, but what I'm saying is like don't be like that at the beginning where you would have all these stipulations on yourself. Be open to the opportunity, be thankful for it. God is blessing you. So just be open. Don't be like Corbellic, all right? So do as I say, but not as you see me do, all right? Is what I'm saying. All right, let's see here. Jane says, "Do I look like a DJ?" Tulio says, "From my point of view, it depends on what exactly is required. I have learned not to be a diva when it comes to my work, but to actually think like a service provider." Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Don't be a diva. I'm a diva. I'm a diva right now. Don't be like Corbellic. I'm a diva right now. All right. Don't be like Corbellic though. Be open. Be very open because that's how I got my blessings. That's how I was able to get all of my opportunities. That's how I was able to get out of debt. That's how I was able to get investments. That's how I was able to make other relationships where I've had the biggest art pieces. And it all came from eBay. I'm telling you, it all came from eBay being open, not being a diva, just being hungry for the opportunity. So be hungry for all opportunities. Do the work. Don't put too much stipulation onto it. Don't do it. So like I said, on this one, it's very tricky because I'm like talking from my experience now, but um, you're not at that point yet. So be open to all of it. Don't be picky. Don't be a diva. Don't be Corbellic. All right, let's see here. Esther says, I love your business and life motivations. Thank you. Tulio says, acting like a diva is the fastest way to having no work at all, especially when you are just starting out. Exactly. Listen to Tulio. He's dropping gems right there. Do not act like a diva. Be open to all of it. I don't care if somebody says, I want a polar bear I want a polar bear hairs. Be like, yes, I'll do it. I'll do it. I've done crappy work or things that I didn't want to do on commissions within my first 5 years, because there was times where when I was doing the gallery stuff, I didn't have people wanting to buy it. So now I got people wanting to buy it and I'm acting like a diva. Why am I acting like a diva? No, don't do that. Be open. Let's see here. I tried painting a beach landscape from the projector and it took me 2 hours. Landscapes are hard to paint fast. No, they're not. Landscapes are the fastest things. Landscapes are so fast to do. I'll even do one today. Landscapes are crazy. Landscapes are the fastest things. The Certain Light thing says, I think it's important that the client doesn't expect you to recreate something exactly to their request. Yeah, that's true. That. Now that's true. That part is true. As long as they don't expect something. Well, I don't know. It depends. It depends. It's up to you of what it is. Just ask to see it, because it might not even be that difficult. I've had requests even recent where somebody wanted something that looked exactly like this. And I know we work off with a projector, so it's not hard for me to do it. Like, it's not hard for me to do a replication. I'm like a forge replication king around here, all right? If there was a painting that I did before and maybe somebody liked it and they wanted a larger size, I could do it again. I could do it again. I mean, I match colors. I do the whole proportion thing. I'm like a king replicator around here, all right? All right, let's get this thing going. So back to what we were talking about when it comes to business, making sure that you have the leverage, making sure that you have something to offer, and that your offer could just be you, like I said, where you're prolific. Start the conversation off with whatever your strength is. I've noticed, hey, Tulio, I've noticed that you've worked so hard in the Corbellic studio for a year now. And I want to present an opportunity where I could ride your coattails and, maybe you could send me an email back if you're interested in hearing about what I can offer for you. No, how about you just tell me what you offer for me? All right. From the beginning. I'm not going to do that. What a waste. And you guys are going to see, the more that you're in this game, you're going to start getting people that's like wanting to reach out to you because you already put the work in. You're always going to have that. You're always going to have people that want to reach out and because you put the work in, not understanding there's a whole recipe behind it. People see you creating art, or people see you doing whatever you do in your business world, and they think that's just it. They think that's just it. That's whatever you do. You just paint and you list and it's that. They don't understand that there's a whole checklist of 100 different items of which you do to be you. They don't understand that there's a whole process in place of what you got to do to be you. If someone reaches out and they go, man, I want to do something very similar or something, whatever. I'm like, go for it. I always believe that there's enough. Look, I always say this. I believe that there's enough money out here for all of us. I believe that there's enough resources out here for all of us. God has created earth in a way where there's enough of opportunity out here for all of us. But you have to still be you. You still have to put the work in. You have to be authentic and you have to be you. You still have to show up to work. So, for example, it's not just one thing on the checklist. Can you still show up, put yourself in a leveraged position where maybe you do, are you able to take speech classes? Are you able to talk? Are you a communicator? Are you able to talk in front of a camera? Are you able to present yourself? See, people don't even think about these things, right? Like they don't think about all these things that come along with it. They just think, oh, you just paint. If it was just painting, then everybody would do that. But then even people can't do that part or whatever the business is. I mean, maybe we're not just talking about that. There's just so many different avenues that come into it where you have to have the leverage at. And the best way to have the leverage at things is just being you and finding out what you're good at, what your talent is, not what somebody else's talent is. Because the thing is, what somebody else's talent is, you're overlooking it most of the time and you don't realize how much work that they put into that part. Let's see here. Let me finish this painting up a little bit and then I'm going to go back to the comments. Sometimes I'm getting sidetracked here by the comments. I'm sorry. Are you saying that I could replicate my own art? Yeah, like just because you sold an original, you might have sold an original, but I'll tell them if someone would ask, I still own the intellectual property. I might have sold an original. I said that to somebody. Out of all the years that I've sold art, I sold an original. I sold an original painting to an artist or to a collector, and they reached out to me, and they were like, but they reached out to me from a different account, right? So they were being sneaky. And she goes, hey, can you do something similar to this style? Which she has the original. I don't know. Maybe she was bored. I don't know why she was doing this. And I think I told this story before months ago. And I was like, yeah, I could do something similar, but it'll be in my style. It'll be in my style, but it'll be similar to that. And it won't, it'll be in I say, what I always say is like, it'll be in my intuitive art style, which means that happy mistakes, Bob Ross. I don't know what the next thing's going to be. I don't know the next color. I don't know. It's all intuitive. And she sends me a picture of the art that she was referencing, and she's the original buyer. And she's like, I'm offended because this is the original and you're over here trying to sell my thing. I was like, here you are trying to catch me up in something. I never said that I was going to make the replica of it. I'm going to do something similar. Maybe it'd be a different color. Maybe if not. But then I had to tell her, like, if I wanted to make the same one, I can if I want to, because I own the intellectual property of it. You might have it, but I can still create another one because I'm Corbellic. I have the intellectual property where I created that. I'm the one I have the proof of where I created it. I have all the backup photos of every painting that I've created over the past 5-7 years. I own the intellectual property of it. I'm the artist. I could create them. That's just like, how many times have you know how many times you go to you know how many times that you've gone to a warehouse, or not a warehouse, but a gallery. And I'm sorry, not a gallery, but a museum. You know how many times did you go into a museum and you'll see an Andy Warhol, and the Andy Warhol is a like, there's so many pieces of it that he's did because they're all based off of the silk print of it. Hold on real quick, everybody. Let me take a quick pause. My assistant is here. Here, let me just turn this light on. All right, I'm back. But you know how many times you go into a museum and you've seen an Andy Warhol where it's the silk screen and there's so many different copies of that? You think they would say, oh, well, it's an Andy Warhol. How can you sue it? It's not the original. Of course you can. Let's see here. Tulio says, for an artist, leverage is everything and lets one creative effort produce more reach, income, or impact without more hours worked. Exactly. Leverage is everything. And these are the things that I'm talking about when it comes to life in general, where it's not just about being an artist. It's also about life. You have to have leverage. But especially when it comes to our business, I mean, these are this is the art of the deal. This is the negotiation. One of the things that they teach in the negotiations, the one who says the pricing first is the one who loses. But of course, in our situation, we have to say kind of the pricing first. So that's why I always start at the high end, and then we can work down. Either you accept it or you don't, but at least you know where our standard is at, and then you'll come back for it. Most of the time they'll tell you, see, this is how you get yourself in a situation. This is another business gem I'm about to get right now. To put yourself in a situation where the one who names the price first loses, you put them in a situation where they name their price first by you naming your price higher. Name your price higher, you know, whatever your price point that you think you want. Sometimes we think to ourselves, oh man, let me drop the price a little bit because I don't want to lose out on the sale. I don't want to lose out on the sale. So I don't want to put it too high, because if I put it too high, I'll lose out on the sale, right? I know we all been in situations like that, right? You don't want to lose out on the sale. So you're like, I'll say it's, I'll give them the price of what I'm comfortable at. Let me look at what my bills are this month, honey. Let me look at what my bills are. And as long as I can just cover that amount to cover my bills, I'll be fine. I don't want to lose out on that. What's the worst case? Then what's the worst situation out of that? You give them that price point of what you wanted just to be minimum to pay your bills. And then what do? They say, oh, that's a steal. Thanks a lot. Then how do you feel? You don't even feel good about creating an art piece now. Now you're like, dang, I wish that I could go back in time and ask them for double or triple, right? Of course you do. But these are all learning lessons. I've been there myself too, because I didn't have leverage and I played myself. I don't want to lose out on the deal. So let me pretend that we're friends. Let me give them a friendly cost. You know what? Just for you, it's going to be $100. Don't worry about it. I know you're a good person. I know you'll come back to me. You need a Sharpie? Okay, hold on. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, I'm back. So let's see here. Larissa out loud says, so digital prints of my own art are okay? Got it. I was wondering about the C of A situation. Well, that's a tricky one. That one's different. I'm not saying that because we're talking about originals. not digital prints, not digitals, because then that's a difficult situation. Those are difficult. And if you do that, you better have so many originals out there where you're only doing like 1% of a digital. Because digitals don't do well, and that is kind of cheating the game. If you do a digital, then that's cheating because you're taking a actual replicated copy of something that you did before. Now, if I do something that is where I'm replicating, right? I'm not doing a full replication. I'll change something, either a color or there's a type of brush stroke that's different. It's never could be exactly the same as long as you're doing the original art. It can never really be the same. But if you're doing a digital, then that's just cheating the game, and then that is a problem, and people kind of stay away from that. But like I said, I don't want to tell you what not to do and what to do or whatever. Sometimes you got to learn through fire of whatever it is. Put it out there in the market yourself so you can see that nobody wants it. But yeah, that one I would stay away from that. Originals is where it's at. That's why we do original art, because people want the originals. Even if they're happy mistakes. That's why it's like, even if I talk about where we create ugly art, it doesn't matter, because at least that it's coming from you. If they want the pretty stuff, then they'll just buy it from China, or they'll buy those replications. You know how many Chinese factories are doing the digital replications? People are tired of that. Anybody could just pull up AI art right now and then just download whatever the thing is and make it, hey, it's digital art. If it was that simple, then everybody would be doing it, and it's not. So that's what we're talking about when it comes is like, make sure that you have leverage that you're bringing to the table. That's the biggest thing. But let me turn the lights on. I think we're pretty much done on this elephant. Don't want somebody wasting your time. That's a 12 by 16. My assistant here forgot what a 12 by 16 looks like. I should fire her, huh? I'm kidding. Let's see here. Thanks so much for the guidance. Original is key. I have to remake my original. Digital versions not okay with C of A. No, that's not okay. Because C of A is the original artwork. That's a certificate of authenticity. It's authentic because it came from your hands. You can't be writing a C of A for something that's digital that you didn't do. Because anybody could do that. Would you want somebody to download the pictures of art that you created and then they put C of A's on it? The people who buy it would know that it didn't come from you, because as soon as they buy the artwork, they can see that it wasn't painted. They can see there's no layers on there. That's one of the reasons why I talk about like creating original artwork, and it doesn't matter what comes out of you as long as it comes from you. People don't even care in this day and age in 2026. People don't even care too much if it's ugly or if it's bad or whatever, as long as it's authentic and it's coming from you and it's something that you're not trying to recreate the wheel. We got so many people who are scared to be artists or scared to be whatever, and then they're trying to recreate the wheel. So they know when you're trying to recreate the wheel and you're not being authentic to whoever you are, and then it just comes off that way. It's like desperate. But these are all things that you can learn and more inside the elite community. So if you're not already part, then click the link, join us so you can learn all of these gems and you could apply these business senses for yourself. So like I said, anything in your life, not even a business or it could be relationships or any business that you're doing, not just with art, always start with the value. Always start with the value, never your story. No one cares about your story and all of that. Start with the value first. What do you offer? We have such a short attention span nowadays, and so does the world. The world has such a short attention span. They don't have time to be hearing about like any back and forth. I don't have time to do no back and forth. You're lucky that I even read the email. How about just start with the value? This is my web page. This is where I do this amount of art at. This is my business. I've done this volume. Like I said, most of you came here wherever you started at in this journey is because I've always started off with you and saying, hey, I'm Corbellic. I've sold 17,000 original paintings. I made over $1 million. And this is what I offer you. All right, let me put our signature on here and we get done with the dibble dabbles. Boom. This is our elephant right there. He's a beautiful elephant. Let's see here. Jada Hunter says, I have a lot more appreciation for handmade things compared to factory made. And you can always see the quality difference between them. Yeah, everybody can. And we're in such a day and age where everything is so, oh, it's digital, it's AI. And people are just like, it's so tiring. Look at this right here. Huh? Isn't that beautiful, that elephant? Look, we did that together. Isn't that nice? And I did this without thinking of it. It's just random colors on here, but people would rather receive something like this, where at least it's authentic. It's coming from you. It's different colors. It's layered on there, and there's no rhyme or reason. You know, this is all intuitive art. So somebody said to me, if somebody would say to me right now, "Hey, Corbellic, I want you to create this same exact replica," I probably wouldn't be able to do it because a lot of the colors is all it's intuitive. All right. It's like I don't know what came next. I don't know what the next thing was. It was just like we did this together. So basically, that's like them saying, "Hey, can you like this whole chemistry of what we had together? Can you re-record the live stream of what you're saying at the exact moment of this while you're also painting that?" There was a whole bunch of things that came into this painting, right? But what I can do, if someone asks, I love this, I want this in a different canvas size, or I want this, can you just paint that for me? If you ask me to paint this, then I'll do it for you and I could do it. I'll probably even make it, what I tell them is I'm going to make it look better for you because it's going to be different. That's how you need to come up. That's how you need to come upon those situations. Dang, that elephant looks good. That is crazy. I'm looking at it right now. That elephant look good as hell. All right, let's go on to the next one. This one's going to be a 14 by 11. If you haven't already, please leave a like on the video. Leave a like in here. Let eBay know that the algorithm is going off, that we're doing God's work around here. I learned that from a mentor years ago, where if you're networking, if you're at a networking event or something like that, right? And let's just say that you actually want to work with somebody there physically. You want to work with somebody. You don't go, you don't walk up to people and say, "Hey, I want to work with you somehow," or you always put yourself in a situation where your value is. Leave with your value of what you do and what you offer, of who you are. How much money have you made? What do they always say? They say that the rich get richer, right? You know why? It's because they have offer, they have leverage. Nobody wants to work with a broke person. Why would they want to put a bag in your hand? You're going to mess the money up. Why would they want to give you a good commission? Why would they want to give you a good commission when you look like you never even had a commission of that worth before? How are you going to ask for a dollar amount on a commission when it looks like you never even done canvases of that worth before? When it looks like you never even dealt with money like that before? People only like to give you money when they know that you've dealt with money like that. That's why the rich stay rich and the broke stay broke. There's a whole frequency of these things. These are universal laws. Has nothing to do with art. Anytime I'm negotiating a big contract or a big commission or anything in business, I'm in the mindset of I don't need it. You have to be in the mindset to really manifest things. You have to be in the mindset of you're good with it, you're good without it. It doesn't matter if you have it or whatever. Like you're doing them the favor. Put yourself in that mindset. You're busy, actually. My schedule's busy. That's the leverage. My leverage is my schedule's busy. I can see if I'm open for it. Now, even though we talk about being open to the opportunity, there's still a game that you still have to play. You can't, even though you're open to the opportunity, this is still business where you still have to have the perception that you are valuable. Yes, be open to the opportunity, but also don't be somebody where it looks like you're just a freeloader and or you're being free and you're just hungry for any opportunity, because then it's like you're not putting value to yourself. You know, some of the best businessmen out there, some of the best business women out there, what they do in situations where they're negative in the bank account, they're dead broke, they'll risk it all at the negotiations of where it make it seems like they already have $1 million ready and they're ready to walk away from the table. The one who is ready to walk away from the table is the one who wins. So it's a balance. There's been so many situations in my life where I didn't have a penny to my name, but I'm willing to be an actor in that moment and pretend that I had $100,000 cash in my pocket just for the opportunity, so you don't seem like you're broke. Nobody wants to deal with broke people because you don't have anything to offer. We're in a society. We're in a society where people want to use. You have to be useful, even in your own family. It could be your mom, your dad, your brother, your girlfriend, your wife. You have to be of use and service. If you're not, I mean, we're adults here. Be useful, be of use. Only only cheap and broke people, and when I say cheap and broke people, I'm talking more mentally, right? They're in a mindset of where they don't want to be used. Oh, someone's using me. Well, we're humans. You have to be useful. Be useful. That's leverage. That's a good thing. If you feel like you're someone who could be used, then that's a good thing because you're useful. The people who the people who sit around and they don't have anything to offer, they're not even useful. So no one will want to use them. I'm dropping some gems right here for you. Maybe this is going in one ear and out the other. Maybe you're understanding it, maybe you're not. Maybe you're not at that point yet in your career or your life where what I'm really dropping on you. You ever have broke people like that in your life, or you hear people like that where it's like, but they're using me. She's using me. I don't want to be taken advantage of. That means that you have nothing to be taken advantage of. Like, you're not useful. Everybody uses something. All right, let me dry this off right here. We're just going to be doing a neo-expressionism face right now. I don't know what it's going to come out to be. I don't know what I'm doing. It's going to be cool, though. I know that much. So in business or in life in general, if you're in a situation, if you're in a situation where you need them more than they need you, then you're already at a weaker position at the table. And no one's trying to hear it. Like I said, always present yourself where you worked hard enough. I had someone recently reach out to me, and I was nice enough because I had a little bit of a time, but I just dropped some gems on them. I gave them a free gem. I was like, work a little bit of advice. Work on yourself first before reaching out to someone. And then this is how humans are, right? When you drop gems like that, right? How do you think most humans take it? You think they take it like, oh, thank you so much for the criticism. I am going to do that. Or do you think they take it as offense? Of course, they take it as offense. So this person took it as offense because Corbellic didn't want to jump on the timeline of what their timeline is. Like I said, if you pay for it, you owe someone your knowledge, not their time. And they were mad because they had nothing to offer. Corbellic said they had nothing to offer. Corbellic said, work on yourself so you can have leverage. They take it as offense. And that's humans for you. So that's why it's like in most times situations, you can't even be working with people. If you want to do something, you want to do something right, you gotta do it yourself. Or if you have a certain task that you could delegate things to that are beneath the pay grade, then you do that. But partner kind of thing, not really. Just more like delegate the smaller task. All right. I know for me, whenever I was in situations and I had no leverage, the number one thing that I always worked on first in silence is I would work on whatever the brand is. I would work on building the thing. I have to build the thing. I'm so focused in on staying quiet about the thing, I won't tell anybody until the thing is built. You know me, I talk about it all the time. I won't even tell my family certain things until the thing is built, until the product is there. That way, you have the energy where you can. The universal law of the energy is that it'll actually work for you instead of you spending the energy and the dopamines on something that's not. You build the thing, and then once you have this built for you, you have this system built for you, you have this business built for you, you're able to put yourself in a situation of leverage. Can't have where you're just like, hey, hey, hey Lee, hey Tulio, hey Jim, I see you got this thing. I see you got this thing built because you've been working on it. Well, I don't have nothing built yet, but I want to work with you. You'll be like, what? It's an insult. Speed creates respect. What I mean by that is that the faster that we create the thing, or we don't stand on the end of the diving board waiting for that moment to jump off. We're building the brand and speed, and then we'll figure out the mistakes along the way, building the leverage up. And then that's how you get the leverage. A lot of times people don't even get leverage, right? Because they're so worried about writing everything down and trying to make things so perfect that they don't even get the leverage part because they want to be perfect first instead of just working in speed. There's a thing that I've heard, and I think it's from the military. They say this all the time: is spec ops. Not that I was in the military or anything like that, but I think, maybe documentaries or whatever. But they would always say, slow is fast. So sometimes, like if you haven't watched enough of my videos, sometimes it kind of sounds like I'm saying both of them, right? Where I'm like, we have to go super fast in what we do. We have to jump off the high diving board. And then sometimes you'll hear me say, you have to be methodical and you have to do things that slow. It's a mixture. Slow is fast. Work the business parts fast, because everything else is going to work out for you. Everything else is going to work out. Like, just like, okay, the same way how y'all see me do art, for example, is the same way how I treat my other businesses or different things in life or what I do. I'll try to create my YouTube videos the same way, where I'll do the volume, and I'll have a certain amount of numbers there, and then I'll figure it out along the way. Now, not everything that you do in life is always going to be winners, right? But we figure that out along the way because we're working in speed compared to just being methodical all the time. Slow is fast. Build in speed, and as long as you do that, everything else will perfect itself. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to art. I don't know what I'm creating. I don't know what I'm painting. I don't know how to paint. But it's going to figure itself out because I'm working in speed. Like I told you, I never look at one painting as a painting. I look at whatever the day is going to be. If I'm going to do 30 or 40 canvases, I'm looking at those 30, 40 canvases as one painting. All right, let's see here. Jaden Hunter says, some people are not reacting to your words at all. They are reacting to feeling challenged, feeling emotionally exposed, feeling out of control, feeling criticized even when you aren't even criticizing. That's so funny that you said that, Jaden Hunter, because when I gave a small gem, I gave the small gem to this person who reached out, and it was very small, but it was very factual what I said. And I didn't say anything where I was criticizing, but then they wrote back all this emotional, like 3 paragraphs. And then I nicely wrote back too. I said, I didn't tell you anything that wasn't factual. I said that come with leverage, have a personality, come with value, work on yourself. I said everything I said are factual. You wrote back all this emotional 3 paragraph stuff. Now you think in the future, like, this is the thing, you can always make yourself greater and come back to somebody in the future, how you present yourself. But you think if this person worked on themselves and they come back in the future, I would want to work with somebody like that? No. See, I already see where people are coming from miles ahead of time. All right, let's see here. Do you varnish your paintings so the colors don't look flat? Nope. My paintings still pop. Jada Hunter says, so when you explain more, they don't hear clarity, they hear pressure. And every added sentence, even calm, keep kind ones increase their defensiveness. Yep. That's why it gets worse instead of better. Exactly. That's so true. And that's why I said in one of my videos, I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, where I said there's going to be situations in life where, okay, remember we had an interesting person come in here, and they were saying they were pretending like we're just having a conversation, but they were really trying to be like kind of negative or whatever. And then I had to say to you guys, like, in life, you're gonna have people like that, and it's always the best way to make people see their own light is they have to see their own light. And you'll never be able to make people see their own light, even in your own light. It could be your own family or whatever, where if you try to talk more about it, the more that you try to talk to these people about it or talk about anything, the more that they're going to seem or think that y'all are on the same page, and then they're going to be more defensive about it. A lot of times in life, you're going to notice that people don't even really believe in the things that they say they believe in. They only want to fight you on it. So the longer that you try to even like fight someone on a certain thing, no matter what it is, a lot of times you'll notice in life, they're just going to be more adamant about it because humans are stubborn, and they just want to fight. Or a lot of times too, what I told you, a lot of times people, it's not that people even want to be negative at all. It's just that humans are weird. They don't know how to talk to people. So a lot of times you'll get people who are actually like, they're fans. You'll have people who are actually fans of you, or starstruck kind of thing, whatever, and they don't know how to talk. So they'll do things where they just want to get attention from you by saying weird stuff, or trying to be like kind of what a hater or whatever, just so they can get any type of attention from you. And the best thing that I always tell you to do is the best thing you can do is not give attention at all. Like I said, it could be your family, it could be anybody. If you see somebody who's like, where they're coming from a mile away on certain attention things, and the best thing you could do is change the subject and be like, how was your day? How is this going? Or not approach it at all, and you'll see that they'll get more upset. They'll get more defensive. They'll get more upset because you're not entertaining the thing that they want you to entertain on. That's their personal thing. And then eventually what happens is when they don't have, because echo chambers get boring, so they can only cheer on their side or whatever it is for so long. Echo chambers get boring. And once they have too much of that, and they don't have the opposition side anymore to whatever, they have to look in the mirror one day and be like, whatever the truth might be, if that makes sense. Whatever the truth might be, or whatever God's truth is, but it's not up to you. But I had a little bit of time, so that's why I responded to the kid, or I think the person was actually like a really like a grown man. And I'm like, dang, you were too old. You're too old for this type of stuff. You're too old to not know how to reach out to somebody. You're too old to be like kind of emotional about it. And another thing that I've learned in business, especially if you're going to network, or if you want to do partnership or something like that, never put yourself in a situation where you're pitching. Don't pitch. Don't pitch an idea. The smoothest way how you can always get in good with somebody is be involved in whatever their business is first. Like, be involved in whatever their community is. Be involved in their channel. Be involved in the thing. Like, relationships and business and networking cost money. I learned this from a mentor. Very true. Instead of you coming from a situation where you have nothing to offer, even if you do have something to offer, I'm going to put you on, all right, this is a elite game right now. If there's somebody out there who you want an opportunity from, or you want to maybe get exposure, or you want to become friends with them, pay them money. Pay for their courses. Give them super chats. Give them be connected. Give them money for the connection. Hey, you know what? I really appreciate the information that you drop. I just want to give you this. I don't expect anything back. Or you know what? I really appreciate what you do. I'm going to join your community and I'm going to be involved in this. Hey, I really appreciate. Be involved in it. Be where you're in the comments and you're involved in the community. You're involved in that person's group. You're involved in that person's infrastructure, right? Of whoever it is. And it could be somebody even big. It could be somebody like big on YouTube or big in the business world. This is how you do it. You be involved. Hey, you know what? I bought a few of your books. Make it where your name rings out, right? You work it for a month. Build a relationship working it for a month and pay them money. Hey, you know what? I really appreciate what you do. I would really like to, if I could set up a time with you, maybe just for an hour where I could pick your brain and I'll pay for that hour. You think that person, after a while, they're not going to build a relationship with you? That's how you build relationships with people. And then they'll feel honored to work with you. They'll want to do something with you. You're not pitching from that standpoint. You're coming with value. This is how billionaires and millionaires build relationships. This is how lobbyists get relationships with politicians, right? Even though they're a big corporation, they still come with the paycheck. They still come with the checkbook. You want a relationship, if you want to be a part, show them with the value of, hey, you know what? I appreciate what you do. I appreciate that the work. I see that you always show up. Like, I just want to, and then don't be so quick to want to, whatever the favor is. Like, you still got time. Work it. Then when it's a month and you put in your work and you've been part of the community because you actually care about what that person is talking about. You actually value what that person, the value of what they're providing for you in your life, what they're doing. You could be a part of it where you're there at least a month, or you're giving out, you're valuing them with, here, I want to pay you for your time. That's how you do it. If I ever want a relationship with somebody in business, first thing you have to be like, I want to pay you for your time. I appreciate what you do and what you offer. Also, like, and then even sometimes too, which is even better, is like I said, be involved in their community first. Because sometimes they might not even know who you are. Like my price might be different if I'll have people who hit me up and they be like, I want an interview or a consultation, but you're not even part of the community. If you were part of the community, then I would know who your name is. I would know who you are. You're not even involved. And then all of a sudden you want to hit me up and pick my brain. I'm going to charge you more because the information of what I'm giving you business consults. I'm giving you a business interview compared to somebody who's involved in my community. I know who you are and you've been around and you want to pick my brain a little bit, then that's cool. But if you're somebody where you just want to take off some mindset information so you could apply it to your business and you don't even really care about my business like that, you don't care about, my livelihood or what I'm really going on, then I'm gonna bust your head open. I'm gonna charge you more. Like, if you want to work with somebody in business, be involved, and it costs nothing. That's part of the work. That's part of the business. This is how rich people do it. You think people are golfing for fun all the time? Let me know in the comments if I'm making sense, if I'm dropping sense on you. Jay says, I really like this painting. Oh yeah, I'm glad you like it. See, when I hear stuff like that, it's like, cool. I got a little bit of data point. I could pump these paintings out all day. I love these type of paintings all the time. I love these paintings. I could pump these out all day. Money attracts money. Nobody likes freeloaders. Not even freeloaders like freeloaders. Because even freeloaders don't even respect the information that they're getting for free. Tulio says, you left everyone speechless. I think that's what we always do around here. That's what we always do. All right, look. There we go right there. Boom. All right, let me do a close up. Let me show you this painting. There we go right there. That's a fun painting. I enjoy doing these paintings a lot. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one right there. Right? Boom. Love it. So much fun. Some Bolum says he looks like me right now. All right, let's do another one then. Let's do another one. No, actually, I'm gonna do a landscape. I'm gonna do a landscape oceanscape real quick. This isn't gonna take time at all, just because I forget who said that it takes a while to do it. I love doing landscape oceanscapes. They're so easy. And they look so beautiful and people love them. Like these things sell very well every single time that I paint them. All right. Let's do this. Boom. There we go right there. All right. This is going to be a beautiful one. I love doing landscapes. You know what else I love? I love hearing that sound in the background of shipping. All right. Shipping. Because it's the sound of money going out. But it's also the sound of productive. Like I said, art is going to become it's going to become more easier for you, and your checklist is going to become easier once that you can hire an assistant, or that you can start getting your family involved. It could be your wife, your girlfriend, your son, your daughter. You can put them on. It'll also make you more accountable that you actually have a business flow. It'll be good for you. It's like giving back. Yeah. Jim says, hey, you never talk about the backpack on the easel. I started doing it with the weight and it was a game changer. Yeah, I did. I did talk about it before. I did talk about it in one of the videos. I don't know if it was a live. I think it was a live. I think it was one of our first lives. But you know what? That's awesome, Jim. I'm glad that you started doing it, man, because it is a game changer, right? Like I put what's in here? I have water bottles back here. I think I have like 3 or 4 water bottles in the backpack. See, years ago, I'm gonna tell you what I used to do, which is crazy, Jim. So check this out. I always have these easels, right? And I don't like where the canvas is back here, because then I don't get to paint all of it. I don't see everything where it's here. I want to paint the whole canvas. So I always put this on top of the canvas where it's clamped down. But the problem is if I tighten this on here and if I put it on here, I paint so much and so much time, these things become wilted. So it's like it won't screw in no more. So what I had to start doing from Amazon, right, is I had to start buying a bunch of these. But then it doesn't even work as great anymore, because then what happens is the back of this, the wood part, it starts becoming bad where it won't even screw in and it's not as tight. And I need it really firm on here. I need it firm on the canvas. So I started doing this. I started doing this book bag trick maybe like 4 years ago. Yeah, I started doing this like 4 years ago, and it's just been a game changer for me, where at least I know the canvas is locked in place. Because I hate when I paint, right? When we paint and it moves. Look, I can hit it, I can tap this bad boy, it's not going anywhere. So it locks in place. So I'm glad that you brought that up. That's a good observation. That's a business, that's a art tip right there. So that's cool, man. I'm glad that you've been able to do that for yourself. That's awesome. Let's see here. Must have missed it. Yeah, it was a very short segment, but I'm glad that you brought it up again. Because yeah, it's just weird. I just always like, I don't know why would they create, I don't understand how they create these easels where you have these pockets down here, right? And it's like, even if I put it how it's supposed to be, like I can't paint the whole canvas. There would be white, there would be, I need it to be close, and it's closer. I don't want it to be where I'm missing parts of the canvas. That's just weird. Lee says, I've been thinking about doing your backpack trick ever since you first mentioned it. I think my easel is getting close to needing the same thing. Yeah, it happens very quick. Mew says, insert a wood glue or toothpick in the striped wood hole. Yeah, I could. I just don't want to do all that. It's just easier this way because I don't have to deal with this. I don't have to, and it's still not that tight. Like even if I did it that way, it's not that tight. And this is the thing, is like eventually when I'm done with the painting, I still gotta unloosen it. So it's just easier for this process there, and it's easier for me to lift it up. It's an easier process. It's easier that I don't have to do screw on, screw off. Like I don't want to have to keep doing that. Like I said, Corbellic's been painting for a long time. So many paintings. So, all right. I forgot what we were talking about. I use a bungee cord. That could work too. Oh, what we were talking about is that getting yourself, where you'll be in position soon to make yourself more accountable by having people to help you. You're the moneymaker. One of my mentors told me years ago, he said, "You're the moneymaker, so don't start start delegating start delegating tasks that is is beneath your pay grade that you shouldn't have to do. You're the moneymaker. Why are you doing, if there's certain things that you know that you can delegate out to and that you don't need to do anymore, then don't do that." You need to be doing other things. That's how businesses are run. Steve Jobs, and when they talked to Steve Jobs, he didn't know how to build a phone. He didn't know how to do a lot of the other stuff. What he knew how to do was delegate the task. Now, when we talk about earlier when we are talking about somebody wanting to do business with you, such as partnership and stuff like that, that's a different conversation. I'm not partnering up. That's partnering up is like partnering up is also like putting yourself in a situation where it's like where we talk about the cartel and we talk about um, you partner up with the wrong person and then all of a sudden they cut you out. They cut you out of the game, and then that's their connect now. They always wanted to know who the connect is. It's kind of like that movie with what was it with Johnny Depp, Blow. They want to know who the connect is. And then they cut you out the game. That's what I always think of, like dealing with a business partner or something like that. Why? So we become successful later on, and then you cut me out the game? I don't think so. But delegations, though, delegations is all day. You could delegate to hundreds of people or whatever, but you're still the owner. But yeah, that's funny. I should have used that analogy to start with about like someone reaching out. Hey, I see that you've been working really hard, Lee. Can you tell me who's your cartel connect? We could be friends. But like, who are you? How do I even know you're in the game? You could trust me. Don't you want to work together? No. Get off my line. eBay is a business partner. Yeah, if they say so. eBay's a business partner. That's more like the cartel. We work for eBay. I mean, we could say all day, like, yeah, they're. I mean, yes, they are a business partner, but I mean, realistically, we work for eBay. eBay's the boss. eBay's the head cartel. 'Cause when numbers are down, or maybe you missed a shipment from Michaels, right? Which is the other cartel where you get your distribution from. And if you hit up eBay and go, hey, eBay, give me a break this month, you know, numbers were down, man. You think eBay's gonna care? They're gonna be like, no, the game still goes on because we still got so many other sellers. We still got so many other sellers over here who are hitting their numbers. So you think we care about if your numbers are down, buddy? Figure it out and then come back to us. But but I get what you're saying too. You're right. Now that I think about what you're saying, and our whole conversation, no, you're right. In our whole conversation, what we're saying is about like our business partner. eBay is our business partner. You're absolutely right. Instead of instead of somebody reaching out to us and being like, "Hey, you want to become a business partner?" No, I don't. I already got a business partner. My business partner's name is eBay. I get what you're saying. You're right. I'm sorry. I said that. I read that wrong. Now, someone said that they have a hard time doing landscapes. Look at this landscape that I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm just doing this with this is an oceanscape, and I'm doing this with the breeze right now. This is like nothing. It's like clockwork. Exactly. Yeah. Or whatever platform that you sell on as your business partner. And this is the thing too, right? So it's like let's just say if you do get in business with somebody, you get in bed with them, then you could be in a situation where they can shut you down. I wouldn't want to be in. I mean, one rule, which you should all know by now, but if you don't, let me put this out here. Don't go in business with your family. That's just asking for a disaster. That's bad business right there. Don't go in business with your family. But if I was going to go in business with somebody, I'd rather it be my family than somebody who I don't know and you don't even have no social proof of what you do or what you could provide for the business. But man, family would be even more difficult. You go in business, don't go in business with your family because you can't reprimand them like you might want to, like you might need to reprimand them to somebody if it was someone else. Because then they'll feel obligated where it's like certain things that you could fire somebody else on, or something that you could fire somebody else on, but then your family feels like they're so obligated. They feel like they're entitled is the word I was trying to say. That's why having an email list is very useful. It is and it's not. Because we're in 2026, who really the email open rate is like 30%, because when people think of emails now in 2026, they're thinking of bill collectors, they're thinking of your bills, they're thinking of an auto payment, they're thinking of like a automatic payment, they're thinking of a subscription base maybe or something like that. Anything that thinks of like, you know, when you like a mailbox nowadays is it's either nothing good comes from a mailbox nowadays. It's just bills or some other stuff. So that's how emails is now too. That's why the open rate is so small, because emails equate to like your new mailbox. It's nothing important. It's junk and it's unsolicited or it's a bill. So the email reach is very low when in 2026. Zinzin said the NFT scammers for selling artwork. Oh my gosh, right? Like they're so notorious now, and it's like who's falling for that stuff? And it's always like this same guy too. His name is like Robinson Jeffrey or something like that. And it's always like, I really like your artwork. I really do. Oh yeah, you do? Yeah. But here's the thing though. I want to buy your artwork using NFTs. Have you heard of it before? Have you heard of NFTs? I'm like, NFTs, dude, like that lets me know, like, what year do you think this is? 2019? In 2019, people were talking about NFTs. Nobody's talking about no damn NFTs in 2026, man. Get off my line. NFTs in 2026, bro. This is not 2016 or 2019. There was a very short window for where NFTs was something. It was something. NFTs. That's a funny. NFT and yeah, I'll buy some of your artwork for. Hey, have you ever heard of digital? Have you heard of digital, man? Wouldn't that be cool? Have you heard of digital? I can sell your artwork on the digital NFTs. Have you heard of it? Let me explain it to you. Only thing you got to do is transfer me over $1,000, and then I'll transfer it back to you using the NFT code. Doesn't that sound like a thing? And then I'll buy your artwork. Like, who falls for that stuff? I'm not saying who, because I guess there are people who do, but don't fall into any of that. If you're out there and this is a segment that's going to be reclipped, if it comes to NFTs, don't fall for it. Don't fall for digital art stuff. Don't give any of your personal information. NFTs is like a NFT is like a digital crypto where it used to be based off of an image, and it was ran off of the um, I'm trying to think which platform it was under, but yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It was like a digital image crypto, but it had no utility based off of it, so it was like pointless. All right, look, there was our landscape right there. I mean, that's pretty cool. What I'll do on this one is I'll also add a little bit of a sun in here, and then maybe make it bounce off the water. But this is my version of a landscape, ocean scape kind of thing, and I love it. There we go. Boom. Let me put my signature on here. Boom. There we go right there. Look, we did that with our eyes closed. You could do that too. Very simple, very luscious, very beautiful. A lot of layers on there. I don't know what it is when it comes to eBay, all right? But they love this type of painting right here. They love different types of landscape. They love the layers of it on here. Look, when I first started out, I would have never done paintings like this because I thought they were boring. I thought it was like funeral home paintings, right? But hey, we're in the business of money, all right? We're in the business. We're artists. We're in the business. We're not doing this for a hobby, make beautiful polar hairs for hours, and maybe some people from high school from 30 years ago like it, all right? This is what it's about. Pump these out. Let's get on to the next one. All right. On this one, I'm going to do a large 16 by 20. This one is going to be a beautiful one. I'm going to do this is going to be like our native chiefs again, like a four horsemen kind of painting. Very beautiful painting. And then this is going to be the last one. All right. I know time flies when you're having fun with Corbellic, but it is what it is. Leave a like on the video. If you haven't already, leave me a super chat. Let me know that you appreciate what's going on around here. All right. Boom. All right, I think this is going to be such a great painting. Watch how beautiful this painting is going to be when we're done with this bad boy. This is going to be great. You know what we're going to do on here? I'm not going to do a background. I'm going to go straight into the principle. Sometimes it's beneficial for you to not have a background where you could just work straight off that white. But as long as we use the projector, it's like the projector is giving us that confidence anyways, where it's holding our hands, and you could just go off of the white. Now, when you do this, this is the type of gallery work where it will make the principle even stronger because you have the confidence of doing that. And there's a lot of people who love that. So I like to do that as well too, to make some paintings more powerful, where you could just have a white background. So that's what we're going to do on this one. We're just going to go into the characters, into the pungent colors, and then we're going to work it that way. All right. All right. All right. Let's see here. Discerning Light says, I love how polar bear hairs are now becoming a polar bear hairs. It's an inside joke thing. An inside joke. It is an inside joke. All right. AZ Lady said, years ago, I got a marketing piece from a guy who wanted to be my agent. It was exciting until I realized he wanted several thousands of dollars for it. Yeah, exactly. That's how it always works. I think you're special. I think you're a star. But did you get the $16,000 that I sent you over? Oh, you did? Here's a picture of the invoice. All right, now you just got to send me half of it back for deposit, and then when it clears, I promise I'm going to send it back to you. I don't know, silly stuff like that. It's got to work on somebody. I feel bad. I feel bad. I think they take advantage of like elderly people. You know, I feel bad in situations like that because sometimes the scam. I'm like, if you're not in the know, the scams can be pretty clever for people who don't know, and it could be easy for them to be giving out their credit card information or their bank information. I just feel bad. I mean, I just been in the business for so long because I was in the financial world, right? And I just know what things look like. The only reason I know what a lot of scams look like is because I was in the finance world. But I'm like, dang, imagine if I was like elderly and a lot of these sophisticated scammers, like, I don't know, it's just bad. They could get you and they can have access to your credit card information and they don't even know. And I feel bad. IG and NFT grifters, right? Especially artwork. That's why it's like emails. Most of the time, I don't even see what the emails are because most of the time it's just either somebody who wants something for nothing or it's a grift. I don't have time for it. And then it's like if you do if you do sincerely want to do business or something like that, then I always think of myself where I gave you that gem on there. Make sure that you're somebody of so much value where I know how you're reaching out to me and I can't say no to the opportunity, or I know like you're part of the community. Sometimes I'll even say that if somebody really reaches out or something, I'll even say to them, I won't do it back and forth. I'll just say, okay, send me a message inside the elite community. Because at least I know that you could at least make that effort, right? If you could make that effort, then we could continue on. Am I right? Am I right? And look how quick I'm just going about the colors on this one. I'm really not, there's no rhyme or reason. I don't know what I'm doing. We were just working off the projector. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you know how we do around here when it's the last painting, we get to do what we want to do and I'm free. But also I'm thinking in my mind too that good, it's the last painting so that way I could do other videos and I could do other business stuff that I want to do really. I could get on with my day. That's how you need to be thinking about every painting that you do. Be excited. Be excited to get done with it so you can get to the next painting. Sometimes in the free community, I'll see people who get in there. Somehow they got in there as a scammer or something, and they'll be like, you know how nowadays they do the I'm a millionaire and I'm living a good life now and I want to give back to special people and I want to help and make you have a special life too or something. Automatic get kicked out. That's a scam spam right there. There's no free lunch in this world. Nobody's trying to give you something for nothing. I want to help you for free. Scam. That's the worst type of scam. Nobody's trying to help you. Nobody's trying to help you for free. What do I always say? No one's going to save you but you. You have to do the work and you have to put the time in. No one's going to save you for free. I always love that I'm transparent. I'm like, this isn't no get rich quick scheme out here. I could tell you what the product is. I could tell you what to sell. I could tell you what platform to do it on. That's better than everybody else. But I would never be like, it's for free. And you don't have to do no work. You could just get paid. Only thing you got to do is just list your paintings up on eBay and you'll get $1 million tomorrow. Isn't it so fun? Anybody can do this. Just give me your credit card information and I'll show you how to be a millionaire tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Oh, wow. That's crazy, Discerning Light. That your dad is self-published, but he still finds people trying to sell his novel. He has to report them all the time. Whoa. Yeah, agents and managers have a long history of stealing artist money. I live in LA, so I know all about that. And also like accountants as well, but especially business managers. I'll manage your business. No, actually, I think I'll manage that myself. The hell I need you. What the hell do I need you for? So you can pretend to tell me something bright? And then managers, if you do have one, they're like 20%. 20% for what? I'm the one doing the work. Especially with AI. Yeah, especially with AI, they're fancy. Nowadays, I've even seen scams where if they have your home address or your business address, they'll send you a letter that looks like it's legal binding, but it's not. They're fake firms. Crazy work out there nowadays, man. Can't trust any of it. So one of the closing things to go off of is something that Lee said earlier, which is very, very true when it comes to business. And it's probably like one of the most important parts when it comes to business. And it's definitely how I operate my business and how I operate my life is that boundaries, people respect boundaries more than availability. You can't be available all the time. How are you available all the time? How you a hard worker, but you're available all the time? It's just like even also being in a relationship. If I tell a young person, can't be available all the time. How are you available all the time? It just means that you ain't got nothing going on. People value what they can't have access to all the time. You can't be accessible. That also puts you into the leverage. So that's why I started this stream off today talking about leverage, right? And putting yourself in a situation of leverage. The biggest thing to have leverage is availability. See, I come from the days of where remember when in order for somebody to get in contact with you, they had to call your house, you know? And this is even before voicemail. Like we didn't even have voicemail. We didn't have voicemail service back then. This is before voicemail. But if someone wanted to, this is before caller ID. So if you weren't home or something and somebody called the house, you didn't even know they called the house. Right? And if they did and you had the voicemail then, back then we didn't even have the digital voicemail where it was attached inside the phone. You had to buy a voicemail box. Remember, you had to hook up the voicemail box that was on the side of the phone And then you had to press the number. You got this many messages, right? You had to press it. Oh, right. Yeah, people are calling me. Because back then you didn't have scammers and bill collectors back then calling. You actually had people calling to say that they wanted something. That's how you found out, because you were out in the world. Like, it made it more of your worth because you weren't accessible. Oh, I really need to get in contact with you because I need to tell you this. I need to that. Oh man, when they get in contact with you, like nowadays, people are too accessible because you have a cell phone on your hip all the time. I don't like that. I have a thing where it's like, if it's important, text me what it is. Get straight to it. Just like the whole value thing. Get straight to it. Don't ask me questions. Don't call me. I don't like to sit on the phone. I'm not going to take the phone calls. I'm not going to be accessible. Especially if I'm working. People know my business hours. I'm working. What do you want? You can't always be accessible to hold value and to have leverage. You have to have Einstein says that imagination is more powerful than knowledge, but also, I forget who said that, also being mysterious is also powerful, the mystique, okay? You can't always be accessible. Thank you. The chain is locked on the thing. You have to get the chain off. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Yes, that's right. Exactly. It wasn't called even a voicemail back then. It was called an answering machine. I had to. My assistant just got done doing my all of my packaging. But yeah, that's what they were called back then. They were called answering machines. Exactly. And yeah, remember that, like even pagers, right? I think I had a pager for a short period of time. That's so goofy though. Unless you're like a drug dealer or something, you have a pager for. It's an important 911. But you have to have mystique to you. You can't always be available. You can't always be accessible. So even when it comes to like someone wants to do business or a commission or something, I have to check my calendar and see what time. I have to check my calendar to see if I'm available. Everything goes onto a calendar. I have a checklist. I have a routine. Everything. Maybe I'm not. I have to see if I'm even available to do a commission for you. Then it's like, oh, the mystique. It's more of a mystery. He's not even available. I have to see. I have to see if I'm even. You put that on. That's where the leverage comes from. If you're someone who's like always available, I can't stand where it's like young people who are in a relationship, especially young men, and they're so infatuated, and then they always want to be up under the girl, or they always want to be up under the boy, or they always want to be like. It's like you hope that you're lowering the value of your name in the relationship if you seem like you don't have nothing going on, especially if you're a young man. If you're a young man, you're supposed to be out there building out in the world. You're supposed to be building on yourself. You're supposed to be providing. You're supposed to be building you up of who you are. And if you're out there always available, like that's like you're losing all the power and leverage right there. You can't always be available. Have somewhere to be. Have somewhere to go. Have something that you're doing, that you're accomplishing. I got something I need to do. No, I can't just sit up and watch Netflix with you. Then people will respect you in relationships and business relationships in the world. Corbellic's time is important. What do I always say? I owe you my knowledge. I don't owe you my time. That's something completely different. If you want the time, you pay for the time. But that's our agreement, though. Our agreement is that I get your time. No, it's never been the agreement. Painters drinking coffee. I appreciate you, Jim. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. That really means a lot. It means a lot to me, brother. Thank you. Some Bolam says always available equals low value. Exactly. Come on. That's why I opened it up and we're talking about leverage. In order for you to have the leverage is everything in life and business and everything. But you can't have no leverage if you're low value. And if you're low value is because you don't hold yourself to the time of being available. Like, you can't always be available. Don't be available. There's certain times throughout the day where I schedule myself of when I'm available, but I'm not available all day long. There's certain times, even inside the elite community, where my members know, don't DM me. I might not answer back to you because I don't owe you my time. I owe you my knowledge, and you'll get the knowledge when you get it. You know, either a few times out the day, or if we have our Q&A, which is weekly. But sometimes it's like, it's kind of rude in business, business wise. If you want a one-on-one, then you pay for the time. I wouldn't treat another business like that, or another business owner, because I understand. Don't be always available. It's low value. Got other stuff that you need to be taking care of that brings in higher value. If not, then you're robbing from yourself to make lower priorities and lower situations feel better. And you don't owe that. Jaded Hunter says desperation is ugly. Yeah, you can smell it. You can smell it on anybody. You can smell it on everybody. And that's a situation that I talk about too. I'm glad that you said that, because it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about commissions, right? Even though it might be there's situations where I am desperate. I want the money, but I won't put myself in a situation. I'll put myself in a situation where I'll pretend that I have $1 million in my pocket and I can walk away from the table, because desperation doesn't bring no money in. What do I always say? You know what Corbellic says? Scared money makes no money. Scared money makes no money. If you got scared money, you ain't gonna make no money. That's why people who are gambling junkies, they always lose at the casino, because their energy is on scared money. It's in desperation. You can smell it on them. The universe can smell it on you. These are universal laws. But the rich get richer. That's what losers say. Not understanding there's universal laws that are playing an effect here of why the rich get richer. You could become one too, and then you'll also generate more money. There's universal laws. And then you wonder why you and everybody in your family, y'all have been broke and the money doesn't flow your way. Scared money makes no money. Don't be available. I'm always in the mindset of the 90s or the 80s of the voicemail, or not the voicemail, but the answering machine. Maybe I'm not home. Oh, but you are at home. You got your cell phone on you. How come they're not picking up? I know they have their cell phone on them. Nowadays, it's so weird. Like they do these things nowadays. I think it's the kids or Generation Z or millennials or whatever. I don't know. It's crazy. But they do this thing nowadays where they put a location tracker on their phone, or like they share their locations or something. I don't know. That's just crazy to me. Like I can't imagine that. I don't care even if I'm like married or whatever. Why would I put a location on my wife? You know, like, why would I do that? That's weird. That's just too much. I got way too much stuff going on. That's one of my big things right there. It's like don't be too available. You got to have stuff going on, man. And then what I tell young men is that even if you don't have nothing going on, right? Cuz you're young and dumb, pretend that you do have something going on. Like just at least pretend that you have something going on. So mothers, fathers out there, if y'all have young sons that need some encouragement, if you need some wise words of coaching, send them my way. I'll get them right. I'll get them on the right track of power, because life is chess, and there's universal laws out there. Even if you don't have anything going on, which you should be working on yourself, right? I mean, that's what we always do. We work on ourselves in our business. We're always painting, or we're always doing something. We're organizing, or we're thinking of something else of the next plan. But as a young man, if you don't know, you should be working on something. But if you're not, then you need to put in the motion that you are doing something, and that you're going to put yourself in the power position with that girl that you like, or that situation that, hey, I'm doing this right now. I'll talk to you later when I'm done working on myself. Jada Hunter says, fake it till you make it. Exactly. That's part of it. Joby says, I was about to sell a portrait to a customer of mine that uses my doggy day here, and then later T is in her mind. She says she doesn't have the money. I almost finished it. Should I show it to her? Let's see here. Some Balloon says, with the random commentary. Or no, okay. It says your painting live concept is great with the random commentary, right? Her still. I'm all over the place. Maybe I just read that out of context. I'm sorry. Or yeah, out of format. Sorry if I messed that up. I think after this, I'm gonna do a reaction video because those were so much fun. But yeah, that's also one of my passions as well too. Is I like talking to I like coaching, mindset coaching, uh, young men, young boys, life lessons, certain different things that they might not have heard from their father, or if they didn't have a father or something like that. I like giving just different things to teach them along the way of success. Or even a lot of times young men grow up and they just got some weak ass fathers who were weak in the world themselves, and they were just robots and following rules and all this other stuff, and they didn't know success themselves, or they didn't know the universal laws of success, and they gave them bad advice. A lot of times it's situations like that. You'd be surprised, or maybe you won't be surprised. There's a lot of sucker sucker ass fathers out there giving their young men or giving their boys bad advice on life. Let's see here. BTC would be great. No, it wouldn't. But that's a different conversation. AZ lady said, back when I did RE, I made rules for clients on how I worked. They respected my time as a professional. The ones I didn't get to do that with, they didn't respect me. Exactly. Exactly. It's just like life. And you have to have you have to have these policies in place. You have to have these guidelines. You have to have these rules and structures. You have to have where you have these boundaries. Because if not, you'll always be working and you'll never be respected. And you could be adding more value to things that you're good at in your life of what the value is, but you can't even get to that point yet because you didn't have these boundaries yet of your time. And one of my mentors said it. It was just the thing that just clicked for me. Is like people pay for you for your knowledge. They're not paying you for your time. For example, like I could talk about my experience of selling 17,000 paintings, and I could build out the courses, and I could have a bunch of lessons, and I could have a bunch of modules, and that's the knowledge. But the part is like me, I don't have to really paint anymore. We've already know that part. We know that Michael Jordan's shot. He's won so many basketball games. We know Tom Brady's done these things. At this point, you're paying for his knowledge and his mind, but you don't pay for his time where he has to he doesn't have to shoot any basketballs anymore. That's just a bonus. That's a blessing. It's a blessing that I'm up here and that I do this. It's a blessing. I love doing it. But it's going to get to that point in your life where you have to start determining what is the value, what is the things that pushes the needle for you in your life, or what are people adding to, or what are they paying for, or what is the value of what you do? They pay for your knowledge, not for your time. Unless they do pay for the time, then that's different. I'm sure if somebody hired Michael Jordan to do a one-on-one basketball and have him shoot some things and they paid a nice paycheck on it, then that's fine. He'll do that. You'll pay for the actual time of that. Let's see here. There is a difference between having good boundaries and being a diva. Well, that's up to you. That's the thing about life. That's the beautiful part about life. That's up to you, and there is no right or wrong. There's no difference between having good boundaries and being a diva. That's up to you. But nobody can tell you the difference between either or. That's up to you. Because that's your life and nobody else can live your life. And at the end of the day, even if the person is being a diva, no one could tell them that they can't be a diva and they can't live their own life because they're being a diva in their own skin. That's their life. That's their time. No one else is going to live their life or their time for them. Let's see here. Joby says, what do you say when they ask you what you do? I say that I am in digital marketing. I am in digital marketing and e-commerce, and I run several different businesses, which is all true. I say that I run a construction company, which is true. I say that I'm in investments, but I do long-term trading, which is true. Like what we do is not who we are. You have to have the leverage of that as well. where it becomes to a point where what you do is not who you are. It's just like with the whole LA cliche, right? Where it's like, what do you do for a living? What kind of car do you drive? Does it make a difference? I walked here. I rode the bus here. It doesn't make a difference of who you are as a character, but you need to make sure that your character is strong enough where you have the leverage and it shines outside of what do you do? Because is that it? Some people are so stuck on the title that that's all they have. Then you're a poor person. Doesn't even matter how much money you make. You could be making a lot of money, but your money is only tied into what you do. And then if that's it, then you're a poor person. Let's see here. Discerning Light says, I agree. I was just bringing it back to earlier when the conversation was about being a diva. I think having good boundaries in business is essential. Yeah, you have to, or you're not going to run a good business. You're going to be trying to serve everybody. And you can't serve everybody when it comes to business, or you're not serving yourself. And you can't really serve your business. You have to have the boundaries. The horse looks good. Thank you. Muse says, the book Notes on Being a Man by Scott Galloway seems up your alley. I'm going to look that up. Let me see here. The book on Being a Man by Scott Galloway. I'll look that up. I'm into like different readings like that. Yeah. I'm always feeding my mind. All right, let's turn the lights on. Boom. Look at that. Come on. Stop playing with me. And we did this basically freestyle because I wasn't even really paying attention to it. We're talking business, we're talking life, right? We're having a good time. We're always having a good time. If you're not already a part of the elite community, click the link that's pinned to the top of the comments right there so you could join and you could do this for yourself. Learn how you can start making sales as early as next week. Start making $500, $1,000 a month. I mean, just even that little bit, you could do that part-time and you could do that easily. Even just making that little bit of time. Think about that. Those pay off car notes, electricity bill, a little bit of your mortgage. Why not? It's better than going out there trying to get a part-time job, and filling them out. In this day and age, the job market is so AI that they're not hiring people. Oh, the job market's so bad. Yeah, because the companies realize that they can do everything with AI. They don't need you no more. You're a complainer. What they need you for? You complain. And you have every right to complain too, but not at the same point where you have the right to complain for a company hiring you, I guess. Hire yourself. Click the link and hire yourself. Learn how you can do this now. Let's see here. Jim says he's good. It's right up the subject. All right, I'm gonna check that out. Let's see here. Let me type that into my phone right now before I forget, so I can check that out as soon as I get off of here. Hey Google, remind me about Scott Galloway Being a Man. Boom. There we go. Right there. Yeah, I'll check that out. All right, no more dibble dabble. No more dibble dabble. So like, look, you see how I like to keep it clean sometimes where you can just do that and then just have the plain white background. Like the plain background is fine enough. And it doesn't always have to be a painted background because a lot of times people like they know what your style is and they know kind of what you do. And you just want to change it up a little bit. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Lee says, you are a blessing. I appreciate all that you do and who you are. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you do and for your continued help and efforts inside the community. Everybody here is a blessing. And you know, one of the things that I said when I first started this off is that you didn't find me, we found each other. We were all meant to be here at the right moment. If you're here on this channel right now, then you were meant to be here. If you found this channel maybe later on, or this is a clipping that you happen to see, you were meant to be here right now. The frequency brought you here. You are a phenomenal person. You are a bright person. Look, you're capable of doing this work. We're all creators, we're all artists, but I guess I'm not the traditional way of what people used to say artists or whatever. We work on the projector here. I sold over 17,000 paintings. I was able to help my family. I was able to get myself out of some bad debts and out of a bad mindset in corporate America. You can do this too, depending on where you're at in your life and depending on how bad that you want it. You just got to show up to work because God loves people who work. God rewards those who work. Hey, you do 1,000 push-ups, God's going to reward that person with muscles or whatever. You walk on the treadmill for over 2 hours, God's going to reward that person with the healthy body or whatever. You get what I'm saying? But it's always that way, is that God rewards those who work. Sloth. Prayer is not a substitution for hard work. All right. So look at this painting right here. Look at that painting. Isn't that great? That's so fun. All right. It's so fun. All right. What do you think? I think it looks great. I like it. I like it. All right, let me put this to the side. Crazy thing is, I be making these paintings and I don't even list them. I know, I'm a mess. Here I'm over here. That's why I always say, listen to what I say, not what I do. All right. Listen to what I say, not what I do. It's more better of what I say than what I do. And that's what we got right there for you. I mean, I think we had a really great time. I appreciate everybody that was in here for leaving a like in here. If you haven't already left a like, please leave a like in here. It really shows the algorithm. Thank you as well for leaving the super chats in here. It really goes a long way, and it lets me know that we're doing God's work around here. You know, it lets me know that you appreciate it and you just bought me a cup of coffee. You bought me a tea or something like that, but also gives me motivation to come back here and make some more painting videos. And I think that's about it. Let me ice this. Let me ice down our palette. That's what we do. Let me ice it down. Boom, right there. Let me see what we have in the chats before we get out of here. Rum bum bum. Do do doom doom doom. All right, that's what we got right there. Wonderful painting session. Thanks heaps. I appreciate you being here as always. Check us out tomorrow. We're going to be here at the same time, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. That's avocado time. And then, yeah, make sure that you have a productive day. I need to call my post office guy right now so that he picks up these boxes. Maybe I can... yeah, I'll take a picture. I'll take a picture and I'll show it inside the community of the boxes that I got that's waiting to go out. And that's the fun part, you know, like while you're working, you can have other people do other work. And that way it keeps the business going. You get the money generating. You got all these systems in place. All right. So we already know about it. There's no more to talk about that. I'm going to check you out on tomorrow's video. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you.